Hi, I'm in the market for a cheap and simple replacement of my aging laptop, and I've come across this. It's a Linx 14-inch slimline notebook. Let's see how it looks.
The central box holds a 12-volt power supply. I'm impressed with the box, but the notebook sits in the top 30mm with only the lid and the box sleeve for protection. It arrived in the seller's box with the bubble wrap underneath, but extra protection was really needed on the top. The box sleeve says it's the gold version. The Linx logo is actually that colour, but the aluminium shell appears as a very classy copper-silver mix. Yes, it's aluminium, not plastic. I needed something that was portable. It's light at only 1.3 kilos and very thin, standing just 13.8mm high. The long back hinge gives a firm support to the open screen. The screen tilts back about 45 degrees, giving plenty of adjustment during use. It has a UK keyboard with a small amount of travel on the keys, making it not too dissimilar to a Mac keyboard. Keys all work, so no problem here. Right, let's take a look at the inputs. The left side has a minuscule charging LED indicator, but more on that later. A micro HDMI 1.4 Type D socket and a USB 3 Type A socket. Swinging around to the right hand side, we have a micro SDHC, SDXC card slot, a USB 2 socket, a headphone socket and a DC power in socket. I spot a problem with the layout this side. Now if you're not watching what you're doing, it's quite easy to push the power plug into the headphone socket. I've left the protective films on the screen and on the touchpad for now. The underside has 4 rubber feet and a small plate that is removed to gain access to the M2 2242 SSD slot to add more storage. Linx recommend fully charging the battery before first use. It's not easy to see the red LED in a well-lit room, but it turns green when fully charged. Okay, time for a boot up test. Press the power button, there's the blue light. It takes about 50 seconds to load Windows 10 to the desktop. It was easy to configure the Wi-Fi and it picks up my router from 2 rooms away. 3 out of 4 bars on the indicator, and with use there's not much buffering. Initial setup and loading of my apps took about 45 minutes, and then the Windows updates kicked in. Now I must say I'm impressed with the 14-inch HD screen. It's very sharp, it's bright enough with only a 60% setting, and the colours are quite acceptable. I've seen much worse. All apps are loaded and finally at the desktop, and we're ready to go.
Hello, we're testing the 2 megapixel camera that's built into the Linx, and it's running at 800 by 600 pixels at 15 frames a second. So this is what the quality looks like, and hopefully you can hear what it sounds like. We've got a bit of a cheat going on though, because the big window behind me is giving lots of backlight. I've had to put a desk lamp on just to highlight my face a bit. So anyway, this is what it looks like. And on to the next thing.
The Linx touchpad has 12 multi-gesture ways of navigating Windows 10, plus a left or a right click function on each of the front corners. I've tried them all and they all function as described in the user's quick guide booklet. I think that's slight overkill, but they're there should you need to use them. I ran a portable 1TB hard drive to watch DVDs. The fully charged Linx 5000 mAh lithium battery lasted an incredible 3.5 hours. And that's with the screen brightness at 60%. The 7.6 volt battery took around 2.5 hours to recharge from the supplied power adapter. Not bad. What we have here is the speed of the 1TB hard drive I just used, and now the onboard 64GB of eMMC flash memory in the Linx. Results are about 8 times faster in the read and 3.8 times faster in the write. This tiny 64GB embedded multimedia card has only 35.6GB free after loading Windows 10 and basic apps. More storage can be added with an SD card in the appropriate socket. I was wondering if the cost of a M2 2242 SSD is worth it for the extra storage. 4GB of low powered double data rate synchronous RAM is fine for the operating system installed. Wi-Fi is 802.11 B, G or N at 2.4 GHz. And finally, Bluetooth version 4 is supported. I was curious to see what sort of temperatures the Intel Pentium N4200 would reach when under load with just passive cooling. I was shocked to see it hit 94 degrees C for a while before settling down back to the upper 60s. The ambient room temperature was 22 degrees C. I used CPU-Z and its stress function for the test. I can only presume the CPU takes time to kick in the onboard safety measures. Intel's spec sheet says 105 degrees C is the max for this CPU. Still a little too high for my taste. Here's what Intel says about their thermal monitoring technologies. Intel Pentium N4200 quad-core boosting up to 2.5 GHz. Probably does this clock, but only for seconds because of the high temperatures. Okay, onto the speakers. The makers have squeezed 4 1-watt units in here. They are okay for Skype or non-serious background music, but headphones are much better. Wi-Fi is not the latest, but it works. Bluetooth, I haven't tested that yet. A minor problem has arisen with use. The screen has slowly developed a mark from rubbing the keyboard edge. The protective film saved the screen from any real damage. A small mod was required to prevent any more marking. 2 small laptop rubber bumpers were fixed to either end of the lower keyboard to stop screen contact. Okay, to sum up, I have been using this little notebook for more than a month and I still like it a lot. Before you ask, no, it doesn't run mainstream PC games. It wasn't built to do that. I love this screen. You can't beat 1920 by 1080, which many other competitors don't have in this price bracket at this time. But for light multitasking, DVDs via a portable hard drive, emailing, note-taking, YouTubing, web browsing, and it has a long battery life, the Linx 14 UltraSlim notebook does the job. The only minor problems have been 1. The power plug fits the headphone socket. 2. The screen could get marked by the keyboard edge. but that's easily fixed with a couple of rubber bumpers. Annoying Windows 10 updates can and have cleared the Wi-Fi settings, so the Linx has to be reconnected to the router. Well, in respect to the performance, I'm surprised that at this spec and price point, it performs really well. It covers everything I need it for. Excellent.
Excellent!
So there you go. That's my review of the Linx 14-inch UltraSlim notebook. Hope you enjoyed it.